Now let me give the floor to Ms. Tlaleng Mofokeng, Chair of the Coordination Committee of Special Procedures, and she's going to join us via Zoom. Madam, you have the floor.
Mr. President, distinguished delegates, I have the honor of addressing the Council today on behalf of the Coordination Committee of Special Procedures. We welcome the decision to convene a special session on the human rights impact on the ongoing conflict in the Sudan. As shown by the joint statement issued this morning by several mandate holders, including myself, special procedures have followed the evolving situation in the country closely and expressed serious concerns about the plight of the Sudanese people. The situation of human rights in Sudan has actually been under the radar of special procedures for many years, especially of successive country mandate holders from 1993 to 2020. The crisis in the Sudan, sparked by the clashes between the Rapid Support Forces and the Sudanese Armed Forces, has now extended beyond 3 weeks. Throughout this period, innocent women, men, girls, and boys have borne the severe consequences of the conflict, enduring immense hardship and remaining exposed to significant protection risks. And the situation remains deeply distressing and demands urgent attention and action. Since the onset of hostilities, an alarming number of lives have been lost, with hundreds perishing and thousands sustaining injuries, tragically including children. The dire consequences of this crisis have compelled hundreds of thousands of individuals to seek refuge, while others have been forcibly displaced from their homes. Regrettably, Sudanese civilians in search of safety reportedly have found themselves subjected to egregious human rights violations, including sexual and gender-based violence, and deprived of vital necessities such as food, water, healthcare, including reproductive health, fuel, and other basic commodities. Moreover, the breakdown in communication services has added to the distressing predicament faced by those affected. Amidst this turmoil, numerous individuals find themselves trapped within densely populated residential areas of Khartoum, Bahri, Omdurman, as well as towns in Darfur and northern Kordofan. With the absence of electricity and the scarcity of healthcare and essential services, and the depletion of food, water, and medical supplies, they cannot confront an uncertain future as a direct consequence of the ongoing conflict. Of particular concern is also the safety and well-being of women and children, people with disabilities, and older persons. As families escape from hostilities, they face the distressing reality of being torn apart, which raises the likelihood of exposing them to severe human rights violations, such as enforced disappearances. Moreover, the ability to monitor and document the situation on the ground has been significantly hindered due to the targeting of journalists, as well as the intimidation and threats faced by human rights defenders, particularly women human rights defenders in Darfur and Khartoum. This situation has resulted in an information blackout. Mr. President, prior to this crisis, the Sudan already had 3.7 million internally displaced persons within that country. Tragically, the delivery of critically needed food assistance, vital infrastructure, and life-saving services has been subjected to what appear to be deliberate and indiscriminate attacks, posing a grave threat to the humanitarian personnel, including local healthcare workers, impeding their efforts. Despite the dedicated work of humanitarian organizations to expand their operations, the persistent conflict severely hampers access to essential provisions, including food and other necessities. Urgent and decisive measures are imperative to tackle the worsening crisis. We need to protect the rights and well-being of vulnerable people and rehabilitate critical infrastructure and services. These actions are crucial in guaranteeing unhindered access to healthcare and ensuring the safety and security of all individuals affected by the crisis. Mr. President, as stressed in the statement issued by Special Procedures yesterday on the present situation, we urgently implored the conflicting parties to cease all hostilities without delay, thereby de-escalating the volatile circumstances and creating an environment conducive to the resumption of unhindered and comprehensive humanitarian operations. This crucial step is paramount in alleviating the immense suffering endured by affected individuals ensuring provision of life-saving protection to those in dire need, and a pathway to sustainable development. We urge the conflicting parties to uphold their responsibilities according to international law, ensuring the safety of civilians and vital civilian infrastructure, such as schools and hospitals. It is crucial for them to publicly commit to safeguarding humanitarian personnel, facilities, and resources, thereby ensuring unrestricted access to aid and assistance. We recognize the efforts of neighboring countries and urge all states to maintain open borders, allowing the entry of individuals seeking refuge, not to return any Sudanese presently abroad, and to provide adequate protection and humanitarian aid to those who are fleeing in Sudan, including those who are already internally displaced within Sudan before the escalation. Additionally, we call all upon states to allocate resources to the neighboring countries, assisting them in accommodating the influx of people who are resulting from the Sudanese conflict. Finally, we urge the immediate initiation of independent and impartial investigations into the loss of civilian lives, injuries sustained by individuals, and cases of ill treatment and other gross human rights violations inflicted upon humanitarian personnel, healthcare workers, human rights defenders, journalists, as well as attacks on civilian infrastructure. Special procedures are ready to work with this council, the High Commissioner, and its designated expert to continue monitoring and providing advice to address and improve the situation on the ground. I thank you, Mr. President.